So we are doing the Inquiry Lab on page 301. And we're going to be dividing whole numbers by fractions. So inquiry, how can a bar diagram help you understand what it means to divide fractions? So we're going to look at the first problem. It says Juan is building a set for the school musical. He has a 3-foot board that needs to be equally divided into 1/2 foot pieces. How many pieces will he have after he cuts the boards? So what do we know? We know that he's building a set for a school musical, but that's not going to help us solve anything. So we know he has he has a 3-foot board. And we also know that he needs to equally divide into 1/2 foot pieces. What do we need to find? So what's the question asking is how many pieces will he have after he cuts the board? So we're going to do the hands-on activity. It says draw a model that represents the length of the board. Draw a line to separate the board into thirds. Each third represents 1 foot. So if we remember that this whole thing is 3 feet, or 3 foot long, 3 feet long. So now we have to divide this into 3 equal parts. That way each part is 1 foot. So we have 1 foot, 1 foot, and 1 foot. And now we need, but it's not asking for 1 foot pieces, we're asking for 1/2 foot pieces. So I'm going to take these 1 foots and divide them in half each way. So how many pieces do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So step 2, divide a foot in halves. I did that. Determine how many groups of halves are in 3. Circle the groups that are the size of 1/2. So if I circle all those, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 groups of 1/2, so 3 divided by 1/2 equals 6. Check by multiplying, so I'm going to do the opposite. 6 times 1/2 equals 3. So I'm going to do the hands-on activity 2. This is 4 divided by 2/3. So step 1, the model represents 4. That is true. Divide each whole into thirds. So when it says each whole, this is where we're dividing it, each whole. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So those green lines all divide it into 4 equal parts. Now with those equal parts, they split them up into 3. So here's 1 part, but they split it up into thirds. So it's 1 part, and then that's a third, that's a third, that's a third. So circle the groups of 2/3. So I'm going to circle 2/3 here, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, and 2/3. And there are 6 groups of 2/3, so 4 divided by 2/3 equals 6. I can check. So 2 times 2/3, so that's going to be 3 times 2, and I get the final answer of 6. So this is the way using the model. I'm actually going to show you guys the method without using a model, because this is the method we'll be learning in the next lesson. The way you divide fractions is we have the dividend and the divisor. Okay, dividend. I don't know if I just spelled that right or not. And then we have the divisor. You're going to take your divisor and you're going to flip it. So instead of 2/3, we're going to flip it and get 3/2. Now we're going to take our we're going to take our division symbol and we're going to change that to a multiplication. And our dividend is going to remain the same. Okay, so I'm going to restate everything again. You take your divisor and you flip it, so 2/3. Now we're at 3/2. Your division symbol is going to change into a multiplication sign. And now the rest is review. So I can do 4/1 times 3/2. Now if I cross divide or use the butterfly method, I can reduce this to 2, and that's going to change to 1. So now I have 2 times 3 is going to equal 6. So this is the method you'll be learning tomorrow. If the model method does not make sense, then I recommend using tomorrow's method. So we're going to try hands-on activity 3. This is 2 divided by 3/4. So this model represents 2. And then we have it divided into fourths. So this is 1, and then a fourth. And they circle 3/4, circle 3/4. But now I have left over is a 2/3. So we divided it into fourths. How many groups of 3/4 are in 2? So we circle 3/4. So circle the 3/4 groups. So there are 2 groups of 3/4 and 2/3 of a group left over. So 2 divided by 3/4. So we got 2 whole groups and then 2/3 left over. So we check by multiplying and we get 2. Now this one's a little bit confusing because we have 2/3 of a group, and that kind of throws it off a little bit. So if this doesn't make sense, then I strongly recommend using the other method. And the other method, just remember, my divisor flips. So this stays the same. I'm just going to go ahead and add the over one. The division is now multiplication, and then we flip. And then 2 times 4 equals 8. 3 times 1 equals 3. So this equals 2 2/3. So we still get the same answer. So I strongly recommend if the picture didn't make sense, then go ahead and use tomorrow's method. But that is the end of the notes. So we'll be working on dividing by whole numbers with fractions, the same thing with tomorrow. So thank you for watching.